This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, The Jim Crow Shtick. When it comes to voting reform, Democrats gleefully point at their pending H.R. 1 For the People Act, which they claim will make voting accessible to more people, most of whom are illegal aliens. When the Republicans push for voter reform, such as what was recently implemented in Georgia, the Democrats accuse them of implementing racially designed Jim Crow laws. Even President Biden called the Georgia law, quote, Jim Crow in the 21st century, end quote, as well as many other Democrats and left-leaning media personnel. Some of us are old enough to remember Jim Crow laws, but most of the voters today haven't a clue regarding its background and its applicability today. Let's try to clear this up. Following the American Civil War, the country entered a period of reconstruction of the South. This consisted of laws devised by Northern Republicans to get the South back on its feet economically while securing the civil rights of the former slaves. Over time, federal troops withdrew from the South, and Democrats took control of the state assemblies and governor mansions. To combat Republican policies, these Dixiecrats implemented sweeping rules and regulations depriving blacks of their civil rights, particularly in the areas of segregation, land ownership, and voting, thereby catering to white control. In effect, they were able to turn the clock backwards to before the Civil War without having to enslave anyone. Over time, Dixiecrats' power grew in parallel with the rise of the Ku Klux Klan. In particular, both groups grew to prominence during the Wilson administration and beyond. It finally ended in 1964 with the passage of the Civil Rights Act under President Lyndon Johnson. The rules devised by the Southern Democrats came to be referred to as Jim Crow, which was named after a theater character stereotyping blacks from the early part of the 19th century. Such laws defined where a black could go to school, where to eat and drink, shop, reside, ride a bus, vote, and many other oppressive stipulations. Interestingly, now the Republicans are being accused of enacting similar laws. It is rather ironic the party of Lincoln, who fought for the freedom of slaves, is being falsely accused of such nonsense. Let us not forget, not one Republican president owned a slave. The Democrats cannot claim otherwise. Today's Republicans are simply angling to stop illegal voting, such as fraudulent and duplicate voting. This is why they are in favor of such things as voter identification, verifying signatures, review of voter rolls, and so on, none of which is in the Democrats' H.R. 1 bill. In fact, H.R. 1 would simplify voter cheating if enacted. Instead, Democrats claim Republican voter initiatives would prohibit people from voting. Hence, they claim it is racist and akin to Jim Crow. Of course, this is an old tactic used by the radical left to try and bully people and has nothing to do with reality. It is a familiar shtick to falsely cast aspersions on others while they themselves are the true culprits trying to undermine the system for political gain. What we have to realize is those who falsely claim others are racist are truly the racists themselves. You can call the Republicans whatever you want, but you cannot distort the truth, especially when it comes to Jim Crow. Frankly, this tactic has been used so many times, I doubt if it is effective any longer. However, as long as the populace remains ignorant of our history, such as who the true designers of Jim Crow laws were, we will continue to produce a sucker every minute. Then again, some people like to be deceived. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.